Good morning and welcome to the middle of the week. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith at the National Weather Service in Pocatello. This is your weather hazard briefing for Wednesday, September 28th, 2022. So if you watch our briefing every morning, forecast is really playing out well here. No significant changes over what we've been telling you for the past couple days, with one exception I'll touch on here in just a moment. Final day of heat today. Unseasonably warm temperatures, in some cases 10 to as much as 20 degrees above normal based on climatology for this time of year. Still in place for one more day. Ridge of high pressure starting to break down, but it's going to hold on here through the course of the day today with those warm and dry conditions. Pattern change still starts to come in tonight and really takes hold for Thursday. We've been advertising this for several days now. Turning much cooler, significantly cooler on the temperature front. Breezy across southeast Idaho, very showery as well. Did add one adjustment to the forecast here. We're seeing some signs that there may be a few thunderstorms and perhaps even a few stronger thunderstorms on Thursday afternoon, particularly along and east of Interstate 15 over to the Wyoming border. Instability is in question. Do we get enough sunshine and heating to really destabilize the atmosphere and provide the fuel that thunderstorms need to really intensify? That part is in question, kind of low confidence on that end, but some other parameters such as wind shear in the atmosphere are looking pretty favorable. So this is something we'll have to keep an eye on here over the next 48 hours in that area. Low confidence continues, unfortunately, for the weekend. Models are still struggling a bit with how long exactly is this system, this low pressure system, going to stick around. The longer it sticks around, the more days we tack onto the forecast of showery and cool conditions. So for those of you who love the fall temperatures, good news there. Eventually, we're going to dry and warm again, though. And right now, it's looking like Sunday and Monday, much better chances of finally pushing that system out, getting that warming and drying trend to take hold across the region. Saturday, really in question. Even Sunday, a little bit in question. Friday, definitely looking cool and showery on the backside of Thursday's system arriving. So we'll continue to watch how this plays out here over the next few days, see if we can rescue that last day of the weekend as a fairly dry and maybe slightly warmer day. Weather risk outlook across the region for the next few days. Again, your attention should be drawn to Thursday. This is lit up with still minor impacts overall. Winds still not getting to advisory criteria based on the latest forecast. So for most of you, for most interests out there, still going to be a typical Idaho breezy day, but certainly noticeable compared to the weather we've had lately. Again, much cooler temperatures. I'll show you those in a moment, and some of those isolated thunderstorms here across the southern and eastern highlands. Again, we're generally advertising along and east of I-15 for the best chance of seeing a few of those thunderstorms mix into that showery activity. Friday, we've taken the question marks away. We will see some shower activity pretty much everywhere except for portions of the Snake Plain, Eastern Magic Valley, and Cassia County. But still uncertainty as we go into Saturday, Sunday. Possibility of lingering showers, kind of that cool showery pattern continuing until we can finally get this low pressure system to pack up and move east out of the region. No watches, warnings, or advisories to open the day today once again. Satellite this morning, a little bit different flavor than what we've shown you the past couple mornings when it's just been outrageously clear waking up here over the past 2 days. But you can see a few clouds, a few white echoes here drifting across the region, and you can see a much better signal across the coast. A nice band of cloud cover lifting to the east-northeast coming inland. That is the approaching system that will bring our cooler, showery pattern change here again, starting Thursday and beyond, as far as impacts that we feel from that. So high temperatures today, very similar to what we saw yesterday. A few upper 70-degree readings, but lots of 80s for most of our population centers across southeast Idaho, even a few upper 80s. For fire weather partners, I wanted to show this once again as well. So by the time we get to Thursday and we get really windy, we've moistened up. We've lost critical RHs. Relative humidity values. So not going to meet red flag criteria that way, but this transition day today where we see this fire weather pattern, the classic pattern of the ridge breaking down, the increase in wind as the next system approaches, and still holding on to some of that dry air. We're going to gain just a few percentage points on the RHs this afternoon. So this is our minimum afternoon relative humidity here on the left. You can still see, though, we're borderline critical with 14% here from Fairfield up into the Arco Desert area, and a little bit of darker red shading in the valleys up through Salmon and Chalice, some of the lower valleys up there, still potentially reaching a critical threshold for relative humidity. Over on the right, we do start to increase the wind today, and these are wind gusts that are expected, particularly this afternoon into early this evening. Anywhere you see the darker blue splotches, there's a few down here in the terrain along the Utah border. There's a few splotches up here in the Central Mountains. We're going to be close on a few locations gusting to 25. So our general feel on this right now is that the coverage of critical dry RHs of 15% and below is going to be quite isolated and limited to some of the valleys, while the best wind, very marginal, maybe gusting to 25, is going to be limited to a few of the peaks and upper slopes. Not enough overlap at this time to consider a red flag warning, but just be aware of these conditions across the region, as it will be kind of an interesting and almost critical transition day for active fires that are still going out there, particularly in areas where the fuels are still receptive to burning. Stepping forward to Thursday, here's the first big hit on these temperatures. 10 to 15 degrees gone as this system marches into the region. You can see high temperatures getting up into the upper 60s, maybe a few low 70s for places like Idaho Falls, Pocatello, Twin Falls. That's all we're going to be able to do with breezy conditions, showery conditions, some increasing clouds across the region. Again, those thunderstorms along and east of I-15, a few of which might get a little zesty during the afternoon, depending on how much we destabilize. Wind gusts haven't changed in the forecast for Thursday afternoon. We still have this corridor, particularly from the Arco Desert up toward Du Bois, where we will see gusts of 30 to maybe 40 miles an hour. Certainly, climatologically, this is a windy corridor anyway for Idaho, and again, we're holding just shy of our advisory criteria. You can see a few of the higher elevations, though, certainly gusting to 25 or 30 miles an hour as well. But on the fire weather side of things, we are going to be much more moist with showers out there as well by Thursday. Severe weather outlook, not picking up on any organized severe weather, but I like this graphic because the shading does a pretty good job of capturing where we think we may see some of the potentially stronger thunderstorms. We're particularly interested, based on the high-res models this morning, I'm particularly interested in this corridor from about Driggs and Bone down south to just east of Pocatello, Montpelier, Soda Springs, Caribou County, is potentially seeing some more scattered, zesty thunderstorm coverage. And again, the big question mark here is how much sunshine do we get? How much fuel can we build up for those afternoon thunderstorms? So less chance of thunderstorms as you go west of I-15. Friday, we're going to take just a few more degrees off. High temperatures across the region, 58 in Island Park, but predominantly low 60s for most of the rest of our population centers, 60 for Stanley, 65 for Pocatello. No 70s in sight, though, for Friday with some of those lingering showers. Saturday and Sunday, as we march into the weekend, again, continued cool and showery with increasing uncertainty, though, as we step over to this right graphic into Sunday on how quickly we'll clear this out and whether or not we'll be able to predominantly keep Sunday dry. It may not end up being a bad day out there if we can get this system to move it and start heading east. And you can see that flavor here in the temperature forecast, too, on Sunday with some of those 70-degree readings, 74 for Shoshone, 75 Twin Falls, starting to creep east back into the eastern Magic Valley, kind of reflecting that trend, that warming and drying trend that we're expecting to increasingly take hold as we go into the new week next week. That's it for your hazard briefing this morning. As always, please reach out if you have questions, comments, or concerns. Everyone have a great Wednesday.